Hey everybody, this is CJ,
And I'm Rain.
and we're embracing paradise. I know it's been a while since we touched base, but we've had a lot going on with the everything, the whole move, going from Texas to Punta Cana, selling the house, just everything else in between. So we just wanted to kind of provide you guys an update of what's been going on and what's to come. Um, yeah, so we were in Punta Cana in
Through
March.
early February through I think like the first week of March. Something. I
Yeah, late February to first
yeah,
week of
that's what I meant. Sorry.
March. Yeah, and since then a lot's been going on,
hmm
and we just wanted to kind of, like I said earlier, fill you in. At least from my side of things, we got back and sold my car. Um, Went to a local dealership and said, "Here you go." And I think that kind of put everything into motion, or at least the first step of the process.
Yeah, I think it put
Um,
things like more into
oh,
perspective, if
like,
you
oh
will.
shit, this is real, right?
Yeah,
Uh
yeah.
huh. Yeah. Um, but it was hard letting go of the car, but it's because it was one of my favorite cars. But
It was your dream car.
yeah, but it's I know it's going to be worth it. And plus, if I tried to import it to DR, it would have never lasted, just because it's so low. And over there, I'm thinking SUV.
hmm
So it had to be done either way. And I do know that we'll have to get rid of yours as well.
hmm
Probably about the a week before we go, if not a few days before we have to go.
Probably a few days, just because there's so much that we need to do
Yeah,
um, before we go.
yeah.
But
But
I think we're getting just a little bit
yeah, ahead of ourselves
ahead.
here.
So
Yeah. So not sure if we mentioned in our prior videos, but before going to Punta Cana, we had our house on the market. I think we've kind of touched base
or maybe
or
mentioned it.
yeah, mentioned it in the prior video. But good news is, we had it was on the market for 59 days. It had a few open houses, a few individual people come by to look, and we ended up getting an offer last night or the night before.
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. Sorry if you hear noise in the background. We got Jake. He's nosy. It's one of our boys, our dogs,
And then
and
Sully, you'll
yeah,
probably hear him bark plenty of times.
and Jake just running his nose through the window blinds because he's nosy and he's trying to see what's going on outside. But yeah, so back to the topic at hand. We got an offer 2 days ago. We accepted it
Within, honestly, like, uh,
within 10
well,
minutes, I'd say.
well, I think we kind
Well,
of.
they gave us an offer. They
hmm
they didn't meet our asking price, so they gave us an offer. We countered with another offer. They accepted it, and then we got the paperwork,
We signed
signed
paperwork.
paperwork.
I think from the initial, sorry to cut you off,
Mhm.
from the initial offer for to the minute that we signed the paperwork and texted our realtor back that, hey, paperwork has been signed by both of us. I think it was maybe an hour
Mhm.
from the minute we got the first offer to that. She had come to see the house for the second time that day.
I need a haircut. Sorry to cut you off, but I look bummy. It's okay. So sorry. Go
It's
ahead.
okay.
Yeah. So.
So she came that day to see the house for the second time. We already knew from the first time that she had seen it that she really liked it, and it was between our home and another home.
Mhm.
She needed some time to think about it, and she was dealing with work. I was traveling for work as well, so there was a lot going on. Um, and then she came, and I believe it was maybe 2 hours after she left the showing that we
Mhm.
got the call
Yep.
saying, "Hey, we've got an offer. Here's what the offer is."
Or we'll send you over an offer, that night or whatever, and
Yeah,
that's when we got it.
yeah, and that took from the time that we got the call saying, "Hey, there's an offer. We're just waiting for official paperwork." I think that was maybe another hour,
Mhm.
and then it took an additional hour. So in total, from the minute that we got the call saying we've got an offer to the time that we've accepted, signed on the dotted line, if you will, and let our realtor know, it was a total of 2 hours. So I think the day that we got the offer, it took in total everything maybe 4 to 5 hours for her to do the second showing and the second walkthrough, send us an offer, us counter, everyone sign and
Yep.
accept, and go from there.
And then that same night, they requested the inspector to be out.
Within like 30 minutes of
Yeah.
us signing paperwork.
So the inspector was out yesterday. Boy, was that a headache. So um, our next door neighbor allowed us to just take our dogs over into her yard, into her house, so they can kind of stay cool. It's kind of heating up now in Texas, which we appreciate because I did not feel like driving around with them and taking them to a park and then them uh, getting all crazy and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But
What's wilder is we are on a 30-day close. So
yeah.
officially we have 29 days to pack a 3 bedroom, 2 bath house, 2 human adults, and
Hmm.
2 adult dogs.
Hmm.
I've got 29 days to get my life together.
Yep.
Mind you, we are both still working full time.
Hmm.
I'm hoping no other work trip comes up. Um,
Yeah, if work trip comes up, you're
I'm
gonna
not
have to
going.
tell them, yeah, it can't happen.
I've got a lot going on at work, so I have to find the time to squeeze that in into some of the other things that I do besides work and kind of managing our home. So there's a lot going on for me for the next 29
Yeah.
days.
Yeah, same here. Just trying to brace and mentally prepare because, of course, there's going to be headaches.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to prepare myself for that, and I'm sure you got to do the same. There's going to, of course, little things that are going to pop up here and there where it feels like the world's crumbling and we got to figure it out. But I'm sure we'll be fine.
But for real, it's for real go time now.
Yeah,
Like
it
it's it's
hmm
it's been go time since like Sunday night, but for real, it's like go
yeah.
time.
We what was it? We're trying to well, today I'll start here. Today I reached out to a few moving pet moving companies, um, simply to see what the process would be and if it would be easier for them and us. So I did get in contact with a pet relocating company. It looks like they're based out of Fort Lauderdale. Our plan is to do a road trip from Texas, once the house is sold and everything's closed. And as we're heading to DR, we're going to drive from Texas to Florida, leave from Florida to catch a one way to Punta Cana. Um,
Just because it's a little less stressful for the dogs,
mhm.
especially with Sully being blind. Um, everything, he's very anxious, and everything stresses him out. And Jake, although he's a freaking teddy bear, he's always just antsy. He
Yeah.
always feels like he's in trouble. So we're trying to make it easier, not just on ourselves, but make the flight as short as possible. If we would have done a flight from Texas, it would have been a connecting flight, and they would have been in a crate for 8 to 12 hours, which is not something that they're used to.
Yeah.
Even when we didn't work from home, we would let them roam free in the house because they're both very well trained
Hmm.
and very well behaved. But that's not something that they're used to. So we wanted to make sure that,
Make it as easy as possible for them.
yeah, as easy as
They'll enjoy
possible.
the road trip because
They love
they
cars.
love the car. Every time I have to go into the garage and the door opens, they both run out and try to get into your car, and I'm like, no, we're not leaving, we're not leaving. So I'm sure the road trip they'll really enjoy. I know you've been looking at Airbnbs in certain spots that we're going to stop in for that road trip.
Hmm.
Of course, they got to be pet friendly.
Have to have a
So, yeah,
yard, a fenced yard at
fence
that, so
yard.
that
Yeah.
Sully's little blind butt doesn't get lost.
Yep.
So we're gonna fly, like CJ said, from Florida. So we're gonna fly out most likely out of Miami, just because it's a bigger international
Hmm.
airport than Fort Lauderdale. Even though I do not like the Miami airport, that's neither here nor there. And the pet traveling company, they
Leaves out
work
of.
better with the international airport in Santo Domingo
Hmm.
instead of the one in Punta Cana. So they're going to fly into Santo Domingo. So we are going to fly into Santo Domingo. We've already um,
Looked at flights
looked
and
at
things like
flights
that.
and kind of spoken to them, talking to them about the time frame that approximately the boys will arrive in Santo Domingo. So we're kind of aligning our flight with them.
Hmm.
They'll be stuck in the airport for maybe 2 to 3 hours while we get on our flight. And then Punta Cana is a little bit over 2 hours from Santo Domingo, so we're literally going to get a rental at the airport and drive to Punta Cana that same day.
Yeah, yeah, which shouldn't be terrible. Just to kind of get back to the pet relocating company, they sent a quote, and they kind of do everything for you. They'll, I requested that I drop them off at their airport. They're actually, it's like they fly them as like cargo, I believe, from a cargo plane. It's like a non-passenger, he told me. Um, and it goes from Miami into Santo Domingo, as you mentioned. I'm not sure the process after that, but once I get more information, of course, we'll come back and kind of explain that to you. Our whole process with the thing, with the company. That way, we could kind of help anyone else that needs that service. One thing I did like about them is that they offer because there's certain crates that the dogs need to travel in, so they offer those, and it's like airline certified. So they kind of do everything on their end, and we just bring the dogs to them. And then,
With the paperwork
with
and
the
stuff.
paperwork, which we also have to get them to the vet to make, to get updated paperwork saying they're healthy, they're able to travel and things like that. Of course, rabies and things like that. But um, I do like the ease. It sounds like it's easy, of course, crossing my fingers. But I do like the fact that they kind of do everything. Um,
And I do plan on putting AirTag collars on both of my
yeah.
boys because if somebody loses my boys, like that poor lady that lost her dogs, I think it was on Delta, I'm not going to be a happy camper. Those are my babies. I've had them since they
Yeah.
were little. I mean, we've had Sully since he was 9 weeks old
Hmm.
and Jake since he was 4 months old. And Sully's about to turn 10 in May. Literally a couple days before we close on the house, Sully will be 10.
Yep.
So I refuse to lose my boys.
Hmm. I agree. I know you've been doing stuff on the DR side as far as like Airbnb and things like that. I think we'll probably get into DR mid-May. Are you thinking?
Yeah, so with the close that with the date that we have our closing, we said that we would stay obviously here overnight, but not in the house. We're gonna have to get an Airbnb just for that one night, and then we're gonna leave the following morning after the close around I think we said like 7 a.m. That way we can get up early, make sure that everything that we need is packed, that we leave that Airbnb in good standing order so that we don't have any issues with the owner,
Hmm.
and so that they can have an easier way of cleaning the home so that the next guest can stay. And making sure that we feed the boys, give Sully his insulin and whatnot. So we'll leave early that morning. It'll take us about 3 days to get to Miami.
Just because we're gonna take it kind of slow there, that way it's easier on them. The driving wouldn't be as terrible, trying to do like 7, 8 hours a day of driving is, kind of what we're looking at. We already tried to plan the road trip and things like that. The towns we're going to, or the cities we're going to stop in, stay the night. I think we kind of are on the right direction of getting everything figured out. Um, and like I said, we'll get in there mid-May, stay in an Airbnb, you think a week or two?
In Punta Cana, once we get to DR, we'll probably be in an Airbnb most likely for 2 weeks, or a week or two. I don't know, depending on how like things fall, so that way we can get into our rental on June 1st.
Hmm.
That's the plan. And we've already been, like CJ said, I've already been looking at Airbnbs. I already know which one we're gonna stay at here, because it's very pet friendly. It's a nice big yard so that my Jake and my Sally can get some exercise and stretch their little legs before the road trip. It's actually about 25 minutes away from our house right now. Um, and then I've already looked at Airbnbs in the cities that we're thinking of stopping on our way to Florida.
Hmm.
I've looked at the Airbnbs in Florida. I've looked at Airbnbs in Punta Cana so that when we get there, just because once we get a little bit more situated and we know once that our closing date is for real set in stone, I can go ahead and start booking the rental car because we're going to sell my car a couple days before, booking the rental car from here to Florida, booking all the Airbnbs, both here in the States and in Punta Cana, booking the rental in Punta Cana because once we get there, then we'll have to purchase a car.
Which
And
we've spoken to the
car salesman?
car salesman um, at Espiat.
Espaillat.
Espaillat, Motors. His name's Miguel. Shout out Miguel. Um, um, we kind of gave him a list of options that we're interested in, and then he kind of walked us through the process of what we need to purchase the car and um,
Time frame.
time frame and things like that. But seemed pretty straightforward. We'll also um, record that content if he allows when we get there. That way, we kind of show and educate people on what the process would be if they decide to move uh, to Dominican Republic or wherever.
If I could just interject for
Yeah.
a sec. So my plan was, I didn't think that we were going to get an offer that quick, to be honest. So my plan was to take a trip at the end of April, early May, to go to New York. One, to visit my mom because she's still up there,
Hmm.
but two, to go to the Dominican embassy up there and get my cedula. Since I was born there, I can have dual citizenship. Well, I'm not going to have time for that. I've got 29 days to get
Yeah,
everything. So
we're gonna have to do that there.
yeah, I'll have to do that there. Just because I wanted to have a Dominican bank account there. Uh, just because I've been looking online and from speaking to some contacts, it's going to be rather difficult. We're going to need like two cedulas of two people that live there. Or cedulas like an ID, so showing that you are a Dominican resident. So that's what that is. So we're going to need two cedulas, which I can get my mom's and my brother's, or my mom's and my dad's, or whatever. But if I could have made it so that I had a cedula, I can just give CJ my, debit card or whatever. And here, if you need to use it, obviously, you're my husband, like, go do what you need to do. But we're going to have to start that process when we get there because the minute that I get my cedula, then we're going to start the process so that CJ can become a Dominican resident. He has to have his residency first, and then he can get it through marriage. And I've already got all the information on what he needs and what all that stuff.
Yeah, you called them, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we'll start that process because the sooner that he can get his residency, the easier that it'll make things for us there. Um, so there's that.
And me learning Spanish will make it things a lot easier too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of my goals when I get there is to learn Spanish. That way, I can just be out and about and mingling and learning and meeting new people. That's so I'm excited about that. What else did we want to talk about? Oh, we have the garage sale.
That we're planning
Yeah, we're
and
planning a garage sale because we have like a 18-foot couch. It's
no,
very
I measured it. It's 22
a
feet.
22-foot couch. We had custom made to fit our living room because it's
Massive.
yeah, it's pretty big, so it fits the whole back wall, and then comes out. Um, so things like that, it's hard to get rid of. You know, so we're just gonna have a garage sale with some of the smaller things and some of the bigger things like TVs and stuff like that. That I know there's just no point of traveling with. Just get some there. Um, Furniture, tables, chairs, and
Things like that.
yeah, that we need to essentially get rid of because we can't travel with it. So I know you kind of got that lined up. I called them today to see if there was any permits needed, and
Mm.
where we live, we're not within city limits, so we don't need any permits or anything like that for the garage sale. So more money in our pocket, even though I think it's like $10-15 for the permit.
It
But
was 5 for two
yeah,
days.
so okay. So what else
But
do we?
I've already slowly started getting some stuff posted on like
Hmm.
marketplaces. We've already got like some of our patio furniture
Yeah,
sold.
you
Like
did.
literally, our back patio looks empty. The only thing that's on the back patio is I have a Buddha statue, a side table, and our grill. Other than that, the little dining table and chairs and our little patio set is completely gone. I've listed a couple other things. So we're trying to get that kind of going. We've spoken to our nephew since him and his girlfriend are planning on moving in the late summer, early fall. So I've already told them, hey, come and pick whatever it is that you want. Obviously, I will not charge you. I'd rather help you than, make $10 on something. It's fine. So they're going to come this weekend to kind of pick through our stuff and decide what it is that they want.
Hmm.
Um, but all that to say, there's a whole lot more content coming.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's not just going to be us sitting around talking to
yeah,
you. It's going to be you're actually going to see what is going on.
yep.
So get used to seeing the background of our house. You'll probably see our closets, our bedroom, my office, his office. You're probably going to see the whole
Dog
house.
vet visits and
Everything. We'll film as much as we're allowed to film.
yeah.
We're going to film it all. So just get ready for all that. So we've got a whole lot more content coming your
Hmm.
way, just to kind of help anybody else who's thinking of doing this and who's in our shoes, if you will, with two large dogs that they can't just put them in a little
Carry on a
carry
crate.
on thing
Hmm.
and just kind of take them with them, or somebody who's planning on selling their entire home and starting fresh in DR. So we're going to be doing that just to kind of show you what the process is. So bear with us. I know that the content sometimes we got a lot of little mishaps in there, but as once we get more settled, we'll do a lot more editing.
Hmm.
Right now, they're kind of just very
Basic.
au natural, is what I'm gonna
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Well.
But just be patient. There's a lot more coming. You'll see a lot more of what's going on. And like CJ said, we will film as much as we're allowed to, as much as we can, whether it's a vet visit, even if it's the closing process of our house,
Hmm.
purchasing the car in DR, anything and everything that we can
Garage sale
possibly
if we have
film.
it set up. Yeah.
Yep, taking the boys to the Miami airport. We will literally film as much as we
Yeah.
can,
And
just
even
so
when we
that
get to DR, I want to film everything and just kind of um, show people what it's all about because it does get a bad rap a lot of the time for whatever reason. Um, yeah. Is there anything else that you thought we missed out on? I know it's been a while.
No, I think that's a fairly quick catch up
Hmm.
on what's been going on. Um, like I said, there's a lot more coming.
Definitely.
So just bear with us while we post
Even the selling
a
your
bunch of
car,
stuff.
we can record, film that.
If she'll let me, absolutely.
Yeah.
But to be honest, unlike him, who he was very sad to let go of his car, I was even sad to let go of his car. I am not sad to let go of my car. I freaking hate that thing. I mean, it's a nice car, don't get me wrong, but it's not the car that I would have picked. I just picked it because I got a really good deal. And the car that I had at the time literally was just giving me issues. So I was like, I don't feel like changing an entire transmission. So let's just get a new one.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of excited to get rid of it, to be honest. And not just that, I feel like that is the last nail, well, the second to last nail in the coffin before we go to DR, because the last nail in the coffin will be giving the keys away to our home,
Hmm.
which I think might be a little sadder than we expect because this
Yeah.
is our first home. And we
Hmm.
bought it 2 years after we got married, almost to the day. I think it was like 2 years and like 2 months or something like that. But
Yeah.
there's a lot more to come. Bear with us as we kind of go through this process. Let us know if you have any questions. We'll try our best to answer it. If we don't know, we'll reach out to some of the content creators that help us out and
Hmm.
have been very supportive. Go follow them. It's
Hmm.
Jamie Gruber at I am Jay Abroad. Go follow them, or Jay's wife Norberis. They're amazing.
Yep.
We even met them, had dinner with them. They are
Yeah.
fabulous. Please go follow them. I know they have a lot of content. They're
Yeah.
already in DR, which I'm very jealous. But go follow them. Go subscribe to their channels as well.
Hmm.
Let us know that you found them through us.
Hmm.
Just just so they know where you are coming from.
Yep.
And like I said, ask us any questions. We'll do our best to answer. We'll do our best to give you whatever little knowledge that we've got. And
Yeah,
if
that we've
not,
learned so far.
if
Yep.
not, we'll try and figure that out for you.
Yep.
But for now, I think that's about all
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
update we got.
Yeah. Catch you guys soon. And then stay tuned.
Bye, guys.
Bye.